Maayong udto, magandang tanghali, good noon. Ngayong araw po na ito, medyo taglis tayo kasi meron tayong pag-uusapan na hindi lang taga North Cotabato ang may interest, kundi buong bansa. In fact, even Filipinos living abroad. Today sa ating programang Paring Gov, February 8, no? Alas 12 ang takna sa udto, 12 noon. Hahaba yung ating programa for the first time. Aabot tayo ng alauna. Sapagkat napakaganda ng ating pag-uusapan ngayong araw na ito. Ang pag-uusapan natin ay yung pinakamainit, the burning issue of the day. The impeachment of the Vice President of the Republic of the Philippines, Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. Okay? Now, ang issue na ito actually ay headline ng lahat ng dyaryo, pero maraming mga katanungan, no? Maraming nagtatanong, ano ba yung impeachment na yan, no? So today, we will be coming to you live sa Facebook ko, live tayo. Live din tayo sa Facebook ng DXND NDBC. And of course, DXND ang ating carrier station. But we will also be heard over DXMS Cotabato City, Joy FM Kidapawan City, GNN FM Tulunan, Bandera FM Midsayap, Max FM Midsayap, Power Radio Midsayap, Ronda FM Kidapawan, Power Radio Mlang, Grace FM Matalam, and DXCA KA FM sa Arakan. Okay? So, maraming nag-aabang, maraming nag-aantay, daghan ng nagulat ni ini, o karong adlaw atong istoryahan ang pinakainit nga ang pinakainit ka isyo. Sige lang, freewheeling lang tayo dito. This is not really a dili na formal yun nga nga ingon nato murag stiff ta, and this is going to be a freewheeling conversation, no? But mind you, we will not be discussing the merits of the case. Kasi ang akala ng iba, ito ay gagawin ko para depensahan si Vice President Sara Duterte. No. We will be discussing the impeachment in the context of ano bang impeachment? Sino ang cover ng impeachment? Tama ba yung pag-impeach kay ang procedure sa pag-impeach kay Vice President Sara Duterte, no? Ngayong araw na ito, inimbita ko ang isa sa pinakamatigas na abogado sa buong Pilipinas. And I say that in all pride, no? Proud ako na naging kaibigan ko ito. Practicing lawyer for 26 years. Kasi nag-umpisa siya 16 years old. Okay. And currently, siya ay Dean ng College of Law ng JMC College of Law, no, sa Davao City. Siya din po ay nag-aral sa San Beda, Ateneo de Davao, no? Ateneo de Davao University, graduate. UP siya sa kanyang UP Cebu sa kanyang bachelor's degree. And San Beda College of Law, Master of Laws, no? Nag-aral din siya sa Nalsar University of Law sa India. And Institute for U.S. Law, George Washington University. And naging Doctor Fellow sa Royal Institute of Singapore, no? So ngayong araw mga kaibigan, etong abogado na ito, medyo controversial din ito. Sapagkat siya po ang lead lawyer ni senatorial candidate Apollo Kibuloy, no? And although of course yung kanyang pagiging abogado ni Pastor Kibuloy has nothing to do with what we are going to discuss today. So mga kaibigan, let me introduce to you Attorney Israelito Bobet Torion, the pride of Davao del Sur. Bobet?
Hello, maayong buntag sa
Paki-on lang imong switch, paki-switch. Yan.
Okay. Maayong buntag sa tanan, maayong aga. Good morning everyone. I am Attorney Israelito Bobet Torion. I canceled all my appointments to honor the invitation of a great man, my idol, no? Agriculture Secretary, former Agriculture Secretary, former MINDA Chairman, Emmanuel Manny Piñol. Kasi bossing ko ito talaga, matagal na kaming nagsama noon pa. At kung mag-request siya sa akin, mahirap po mahindian. Kaya supposedly meron akong appointment dun sa Lanao and then meron ding separate appointment sa dalawang other personalities, but I have to honor the invitation of my boss, my former boss, and still my client today, Honorable Secretary Emmanuel Piñol.
Thank you, Attorney Torion. Now, the other day, nag-post ako ng advancer sa programa natin ngayon, and I asked netizens to submit questions which they would like to be addressed during today's program, no? So let me just kasi ang ginawa natin, kinonsolidate na lang natin yung kanilang mga questions. But let me just acknowledge, no, some of those who sent in questions. Si Anwar Tagol, si Arnel Espina, si Eugene Jean, si Antjon Asilo, si Nalia Rosato, si Marites Pasilan Kerobin, yung aking kaibigan, si Ali Makabalang, si Edgar Serrano, si Bongbong More, si Jules Godines Bacolod, si Ricky Donguines, Saldi Joy Mahayag, Virgilio Baldoman, Algie Ilagan, Winexles Cabanalan, Alcotin Anife, and Renato Pogoy Cano. So yun po yung mga nagpadala ng mga questions, and we consolidated the questions actually para hindi na tayo pupunta doon sa isa-isa, no? Now, unang question, Attorney Torion. Ano ba itong impeachment process?
Well, the impeachment process is actually a constitutional process of removing high public officials, no, from public office. And accordingly, we copied this from the Greeks in the olden times, and British likewise enshrined this in their constitution, and the Americans also copied this from the British, and we also copied it from the Americans. And that is why right now we have it in Article 11 of the 1987 Constitution, pero una ito nag-appear sa 1935 Constitution natin, and then meron na naman sa 1973 and 1987 Constitution. Bale, ito po ang paraan para paano natin i-remove or tanggalin sa pwesto yung mga high officials. Limited lang po ito sa 5 mga officials. Ang presidente, vice-presidente, members ng Supreme Court, members of the Constitutional Commissions, and ombudsman. Noong 1935 Constitution, 4 lang. President, Vice President, members of the Constitutional Commission, and the Auditor General, yung sa COA. Sa 1973 Constitution, naging 5. Pero wala yung Vice President sa 1973 Constitution, no? President, members of the Constitutional Commission, tapos yung members ng Supreme Court, no? And then ngayon, in-include na yung ombudsman under the 1987 Constitution, and the Vice President nabalik na naman, pwede na naman siyang ma-impeach, unlike the 1973 Constitution na wala yun sa listahan yung Vice President. So ito po ang paraan para ang proseso na ma-follow para matanggal sila, and this was actually instituted para sa separation of powers, para mabigyan ng laman yung separation of powers. Kung masyado ng mag-abuso itong mga high officials na ito ang only way by which we can remove them, we can make them accountable, and the process is clearly defined in the 1987 Constitution.
So ano ang procedure in filing the impeachment?
Tatlo po.
Does it have to really go through Congress? Congress lang ba mag-i-initiate?
Under the 1987 Constitution, specifically Article 11, nakasaad po doon na tatlong ways po ang pag-file ng impeachment. Una, any citizen would file a verified complaint citing the 6 grounds for impeachment. Ano itong 6 grounds? Culpable violation of the Constitution, treason, bribery, graft and corruption, other high crimes, and betrayal of public trust. 6. So, kailangan nakasaad yun, any of the 6 or all of the 6 or 3 of the 6, depende po. But it needs a resolution of endorsement by a member of the House of Representatives, at least one congressman. Or at least a member of Congress, isang congressman, ay mag-file ng verified complaint. And the third way, kung merong at least 1/3 po, verified complaint or resolution of impeachment filed by at least 1/3 of all members of the House of Representatives. Ito pong tatlong pamamaraan para makapag-file ng impeachment complaint po sa ating bansa.
Okay, so ano ang procedure? Ano ang process? Halimbawa ako, nag-file ako ng impeachment sa Congress. Sinabit ko sa Congress, ini-sponsor ng isang congressman. What are the processes para matuloy yung impeachment at ma-impeach yung officer?
Now, i-clarify natin under Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 1, ang House of Representatives lang has the sole exclusive power to initiate impeachment complaints. Tapos, ang Senado naman, its power is to decide. So, sa tatlong pamamaraan, kung ang ordinary citizen po ang nag-file under Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 2, yung verified complaint niya kailangan ng resolution of endorsement ng isang miyembro ng House of Representatives, at saka kailangan ito right away, which shall be included in the order of business within 10 session days. Kailangan niyang maintindihan, 10 session days, not calendar days. And referred to the proper committee within 3 days. So, yun po ang pamamaraan sa first 2 ways. Kung file dito ng member of Congress or an ordinary citizen, files it upon a resolution of endorsement of a member, kailangan ma-include ito sa order of business within 10 session days and referred to the proper committee on the Committee on Justice, in this case, in accordance with the rules of Congress, within 3 days. And then, sa Committee of Justice naman, i-determine nila kung sufficient in form and substance ba ito. So may proceedings yan kung sufficient ba in form, i-determine nila, and then after that, i-determine naman nila kung sufficient in substance na naman ito. Tapos, kung ano man ang magiging recommendation po nila within 60 session days po, kailangan po nila ipasa ito doon po sa plenary para isubmit naman ito doon sa Kongreso itself. And then the Congress will conduct a session in that regard to consider it, and they need at least 1/3 vote either to affirm the resolution of the Committee on Justice, or disregard or totally hindi na ito i-consider ng Congress, or i-dismiss po iyong complaint po na iyon. At saka kung meron na itong aksyon ng Kongreso, kung makalikom po ng 1/3 vote po ng Kongreso, gagawa na po ng articles of impeachment po no? And there is also the process ipa-answer yung kabila po, yung what you call this, yung respondent po doon sa Kongreso, and then itong articles of impeachment, kung meron na silang finding, ipapasa po ito sa Senado. Okay, so ito yung proseso po sa first two steps first two ways rather in the filing of an impeachment complaint. Yung third naman way is kung yung one-third ng miyembro ng Congress ay sila mismo ang mag-file po ng complaint, hindi na po dadaan ng Committee on Justice. Pero meron pong Supreme Court decision Francisco versus House of Representatives po na nagsasaad na kung ganito po ang proseso, dapat hindi rin natin kalimutan yung due process. Dapat din ipaalam yung respondent kung ano yung kaso against him, and then dapat bigyan siya ng tsansa din to explain, to submit his answer, and it is only after the submission of the answer of the respondent, no, it may even conduct clarificatory hearings, no, that the House of Representatives will vote, no, determine whether it has the one-third vote so as to craft the articles of impeachment. So, yun po ang mga proseso before nila i-lodge doon sa Senado yung articles of impeachment po. So,
so pagdating sa Senado, ano ang next na process?
So, sa Senado naman, ipa-receive muna doon sa Senado, and then what you call this, the Senate will submit it. Iba naman ang rule sa Senado. Kailangan naman ito i-submit to the plenary and present it formally to the senators. And then thereafter, the senators likewise will give chance to the respondent, no, to submit its answer. And then the other party, after receipt of the answer, may opt to file a reply. And then thereafter, the respondent will also have the privilege, kung gugustuhin niya, to file a rejoinder. Tapos, i-subject na ito for trial. No, may presentasyon po ng ebidensya doon, may direct examination, cross-examination, kada witnesses po. And then, after that, it will be submitted for resolution, and the Senate will decide on the matter.
How long would it take for the Senate to decide?
There is no, what you call this, basta it has to be finished within that session, no? Within the within the Senate session. Kasi if you are elected for a 3-year term, no, kailangan matapos within that term. Okay? So, sa amin pong palagay po dito, medyo merong lapse of judgment, or may siguro taktika nila kasi itinaon nila at the end of the congressional session, no? Ito po ang nangyari kasi marami pong posibleng magiging legal problems po nito.
Mamaya natin pag-uusapan yung yung implications, no? Let's go through the process muna. Halimbawa, the impeached official is convicted. Kasi parang ang Congress parang piskalya, no?
Yes, piskalya. Parang piskalya. Tama.
Piskal lang. Sila ang mag-determine ng probable cause.
Yes,
okay?
yes.
And then, pag na-determine nila yung probable cause, which is the impeachment, isasubmit nila sa Senado, and the Senado will act as the judges.
Yes.
Okay? Tama ba yun? Okay.
Tama.
Alright. Question. Halimbawa, yung impeached officer is convicted. Ano ang penalty sa kanya?
Okay. The penalty in accordance with the 1987 Constitution, and in the case of Corona, no, meron kasi yung misis niya nagpadala ng sulat later. This is a 2012 case na pwede ba makatanggap naman kami ng retirement benefits po ni Justice Corona kasi yung mga kaso sa kanya hindi naman natapos kasi namatay siya. So nagiging issue din yun, no? Kung kasi he was impeached and he was convicted, no? Now, the question is, can his wife receive the benefits according to the Supreme Court? Yes. Because if we trace the rules on impeachment from the United States of America, and we copied it from the United States of America, the impeachment process, no, is only limited to the removal of that public officer and his disqualification from public office. Nothing else. It does not touch his person nor his property, according to Justice Story of the United States of America. So therefore, it is clearly limited only to the determination as to whether or not that public official should be removed from office and whether or not he should be disqualified forever from holding public office. Pwede ba siya prisuhin? Hindi po. Pwede ba siya maging civilly liable? Hindi po, kasi ang impeachment proceeding is not a criminal proceeding, it is not a civil proceeding, nor is it an administrative proceeding.
Very unique.
Yes, very unique. Oo.
So, maliwanag po mga kaibigan yung proseso, no? Alright. Since we have already discussed the process, balikan natin ngayon tong specific case, which is the case of Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. First question. Yung proseso ba na ginamit in impeaching Vice President Sara Duterte, nag-conform ba siya dun sa constitutionally mandated process of impeachment?
Sa tingin ko hindi. Kasi
on what grounds?
On various grounds, the most important ground of which is lack of due process. No, and what is my basis? Francisco versus House of Representatives and Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 5 of the 1987 Constitution in relation with Section 4. And even the rules of procedure, no, on impeachment proceedings were not followed by the House of Representatives. Okay? So, number one, lack of due process. Sa pagkasabi po ninyo kanina po, Secretary, sabi mo, yung House of Representatives para siyang piskal. O tama, o para talaga siyang piskal. Siya yung magdidetermine ng probable cause. Pagkakasuhan ka ba ng high crimes? Oo. Pwede ba i-file ka agad yung kaso in one day? Hindi, yung ibang mga congressman nga hindi nakabasa ng mga complaint, pumirma na lang kaagad. Sa mga interviews niya, at least 6 or 7 admitted that they did not know what was the subject matter of the discussion. So anong epekto nito? Lack of verification. In the rules of procedure of the impeachment proceedings, the complainant must certify that they have personal knowledge of facts indicating that the crime alleged to have been committed must have been committed. And even in Article 11, Section 3, it likewise provides that you should have personal knowledge of the complaint filed against the, against the public officer concerned. Ang nangyari dito, wala po yun. At saka wala pong due process in Francisco versus House of Representatives. The Supreme Court was clearly emphatic. If you file it under Section 3, Paragraph 4, which is 1/3 vote, kasi just because you have the quantity, you have the number already, it does not give you the license, no, to disregard due process, because no person shall be deprived of life, liberty, or property without due process of law. All law students know that. That's Article 3 of the 1987 Constitution. So, kung hindi mo siya bigyan maski man lang tsansa to explain ano naman yung aking karapatan dito, kasi iba kasi yung ginawa nila nung investigation pa. Eto nag-charge na sila. So dapat prior to that they should have given her the chance. But granting for the sake of argument that such was done. Note also, no, that there were 3 prior complaints filed in December 4 and 5 and 6.
Pang-apat na ito.
Pang-apat na ito. Okay. Ano ba ang rules dyan? Okay. Let's look at Article 11, Section 3, Paragraph 2. No. Ang dalawa dun were filed by ordinary individuals, ordinary citizens. Okay. So the process should have been that it should have been included in the order of business within 10 session days and referred to the proper committee within 3 session days thereafter. This was not done. Okay? And then, yung...
You mean yung tatlong earlier?
Wala in-include sa order of business, hindi ni-refer to the proper committee on Justice within 3 days thereafter. No? If you follow the rules of procedure, Section 3 ng House of Congress itself, ng 19th Congress, ito 19th Congress daw ito eh. O, anong sabi ng Section 3? No? Filing and referral of verified complaints. A verified complaint for impeachment by a member of the House or by any citizen upon a resolution of endorsement by any member thereof shall be filed with the office of the Secretary General and immediately referred to the Speaker. Tapos, yung Speaker requirement na i-refer sa Speaker yung complaint, wala nga yan sa Constitution. Nandun lang yan sa kanilang House rules. Pero maski yan, hindi finalo. Ano supposedly yung trabaho ng Speaker? The Speaker shall have it included in the order of business within 10 session days from receipt. And it shall then be referred to the Committee on Justice within 3 session days thereafter. Hindi ito ginawa ng Speaker. Okay? Now, bakit hindi nila ito gagawin? Meron po yang rason. Kasi sa Francisco versus House of Representatives po, ito, ano ba itong Francisco? Yung panahon ni Davide, noong 2003-2004 po, oh, si Presidente Joseph Estrada nag-file ng impeachment complaint against Chief Justice Davide. Tapos, nirefer ito sa Committee on Justice. Pag-vote
ng Congress.
Ng Congress. Okay, ni-refer. Kasi within 10 session days, kailangan ma-include yan sa order of business and then referred to the proper Committee on Justice within 3 session days. Na-follow yun during the time of President Estrada. Ang nangyari doon ay yung House Committee on Justice determined that the complaint was sufficient in form. Okay? Pero nung nag-determine na sila whether or not that the complaint was sufficient in substance, sabi ng Committee on Justice, ay wala, it's not. So, dinismiss on October 13 of 2003. Okay. Anong ginawa ngayon? Instead of the Committee on Justice filing a report to Congress within 60 session days, nandun yan sa 1987 Constitution natin. On October 23, 10 days thereafter, yung House of Representatives through Justice Teodoro, Congressman Teodoro and Puentebella, one day lang, in just one day, they were able to nakalikom sila ng more than 1/3 vote din, no? At saka hindi rin nabasa ng mga congressman, pirma lang kaagad sila at final sa Senado. Nag-file ng kaso ngayon yung Francisco versus House of Representatives. Questioning.
Sino si Francisco?
Si Francisco is one of the supporters of yung sa kay Justice Davide. Okay. So, nag-support siya sa stand doon kay Justice Davide. So, nag-file siya ng petition for certiorari doon sa Supreme Court po. Ang nangyari, according to the Supreme Court, ay mali po ito. Bakit ito mali? Kasi nga po, doon sa Francisco versus House of Representatives po, hindi po ito na-follow. Okay? So, kung hindi ito na-follow at saka wala rin daw talagang due process. No? Kasi hindi binigyan ng tsansa si Justice, si Chief Justice Davide to answer the complaint and give his side of the story. Tsaka, hindi na naging fiscal. Kung if we will use the parang they arrogated unto itself the determination of probable cause without really following due process. Hindi po tama yun.
Alright.
Okay.
Bago tayo magpatuloy mga kaibigan, remind ko lang kayo, ang ating resource person is Dean Israelito Torion, Dean of the College of Law at isa sa pinakamagaling ng mga abogado. In fact, ito yung nagpanalo ng MOA AD sa Supreme Court in 2008. And pinag-uusapan po natin yung impeachment ni Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte. We are not talking about the merits of the case. We are only talking about impeachment as a process and the processes involved in the impeachment. Pag-uusapan din po natin kung tama ba yung ginawa nilang pag-file ng impeachment kay Vice President Sara Duterte at kung sinunod ba nila yung proseso na nakasaad sa ating saligang batas. Okay. So given that explanation, Attorney, by the way, we are being heard over 11 radio stations all over South Central Mindanao. Ang ating carrier station is DXND, DXMS, Joy FM, Kidapawan City, GNN FM, Tulunan, Bandera FM, Midsayap, Max FM, Midsayap, Power Radio, Midsayap, Ronda FM, Kidapawan, Power Radio Mlang, Grace FM, Matalam, and DXKA FM in Arakan. Okay. So given that explanation, Dean Todion, sa kaso ni Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte, yung bang proseso na yun ay nasunod o merong pagkakamali o merong mali sa ginawa ng Kongreso?
Meron talagang mali sa tingin ko kasi alam mo, parang yung hindi pag-refer sa Committee on Justice was really politically planned. Bakit ha? Ipaintindi po ko po sa taong bayan. Bakit hindi yun ni-refer sa Committee on Justice? Kasi nga po, sa Gutierrez versus House of Representatives decided on February 15 of 2011 in relation with Francisco versus House of Representatives po, which was decided in 2003 or 2004, no? Nagsasabi kasi doon, sir, na kung ang complaint, no, na na-file ng isang ordinary citizen or complaint filed by a member of the House of Representatives is included in the order of business within 10 days and referred to the proper committee, mag-operate na po ang 1-year bar rule. Okay? So, kung baga, ang ibig sabihin yan, hindi talaga ito ni-refer din sa, what you call this, parang
intentional, ha?
Intentional ito sa tingin ko na hindi ito ni-refer kay para what you call this, para malibog ta ba? Ano ba yung malibog?
Maguluhan.
Maguluhan tayo kung saan
medyo careful ka sa word na libog.
Oo nga eh. So that you will be confused, no? And also to await the filing pala ng fourth complaint. Oo. Kaya pala hindi nila iyon inaksyonan yung tatlo, kay meron palang fourth complaint. Pero dapat kasi itong tatlo ay inaksyonan na. Kasi pag inaksyonan mo ito, ma-refer na ito sa Justice Committee, ang counting ng 1-year period po will be reckoned from the date when it was referred to the Committee on Justice. Oo. So, kaya hindi inaksyonan itong tatlo. Kaya kung inaksyonan itong tatlo,
hindi ba i-file yung pang-apat?
Hindi ba i-file itong pang-apat? Ganun yun. 1-year bar rule. Section 3, paragraph 5 would have operated because Section 3, when is an impeachment proceeding initiated? That's the legal question which was decided in Francisco as well as in Gutierrez.
So by not filing the first 3 complaints,
by not acting
on the first 3 complaints, effectively baliwala 'yon. Hindi covered ng 1-year
bar rule. Oo.
Okay.
Sinadya talaga 'yon. So grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack of or excess of jurisdiction. May plano ka palang mag-file eh. Believe ka pala doon sa mga may prima facie case pala, may probable cause pala. Bakit di mo pinail? Bakit hindi mo inunahan? Tsaka ni-refer or kung gusto mo na anong tawag nito na meron talagang probable cause, then you should have done it. And they maliciously not acted on the 3 complaints kay meron pala silang pang-apat. Okay? Now, can we take that sitting down? No. We could not take that.
Okay. Assuming that you play the role of the lawyer of one of the lawyers of Vice President Sara Duterte, ano ang legal move na gagawin mo?
File ako ng petition for certiorari. Actually, nakapag-isip na ako niyan, boss. Papailan ko kaagad, pero ang problema kasi na-freeze yung funds namin nila pastor eh. Lahat namin, pati bank account ko, boss, ha? Na-include ng mga kasi
so hindi kita mautangan.
Hindi ka makakautang sa akin kasi merong mga cheque, alangan naman lawyer ako, hindi ako mabayaran ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Babayaran ako ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ. Yung last payment sa akin ng Kingdom of Jesus Christ, nakita ng korte. Naku, pati ako. Kaya nga, dito ko po nakita na mahal pala talaga ako na aking misis na maganda. Kasi, maski frozen yung fans ko, mahal pa rin niya ako. Nandyan pa rin siya.
Okay,
Oo.
okay.
Ang gusto ko ipaabot, kung mag-file ka kasi ng certiorari, you need to secure certified true copies of the complaint. Ang kakapal nun. You have to pay it. Hindi yun for free. Tapos, you have to secure all relevant documents. Ang kakapal nun.
So ang action na gagawin mo,
certiorari.
assuming that you are the lawyer, you file for certiorari
Under Rule 65.
with the Supreme Court.
Yeah, with the Supreme Court. Under the expanded concept also, under the 1987 Constitution. Ano yung, there is a difference kasi, legal difference between certiorari under Rule 65 and the expanded concept of certiorari under the 1987 Constitution. Certiorari under Rule 65 only appertains to grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction of courts, lower courts.
Okay,
Whereas,
i-reverse natin yung sitwasyon. Halimbawa, ikaw naman ang abogado ngayon ni Speaker Romualdez at ng Congress. How will you argue?
Ayoko. I will not sell my soul. ayoko, boss. Baski bayaran pa ako. Alam mo, kilala mo ako, boss. Oo. Ayoko. Hindi ko
Ayaw mo mag-abogado sa kanila.
Ayoko maski ilang billion pa yan. Ayoko mag-abogado dyan. Sorry. No, I will not accept it.
Okay.
Not. I can anticipate their arguments, but I have counter-arguments to their anticipated arguments. The most
But
important...
you will not teach them how, ha?
I will not teach them how because alam mo boss, kada istorya kasi natin may nakikinig. Tapos bigla na lang kaya nga napapansin mo ngayon hindi na ako nagpo-post sa Facebook. Oo, kasi yung mga law is a competitive profession also.
Yeah.
Yung arguments ko, nandun na sa Facebook post ng isa abogado. Kung hindi ka lang malakas sa akin, hindi ako magpunta dito ngayon, boss.
Alright.
Okay.
So, okay. Assuming na walang mali doon sa ginawa ng Congress, assuming that everything was done according to the established processes.
Which I do not agree, ha?
No.
Assuming without admitting.
Assuming.
Sa korte niyan, boss, granting ex argumenti gratia.
Sige na, ikaw na mag-Latin. Ako, Bisaya. Okay. So, assuming that everything was done according to the process stipulated in the Constitution, yung bang pag-file ng Congress on the last session day of the Senate, was it legal?
Actually, siguro sinadya din nila yan, no? Sinadla nila kasi meron kasing provision in our 1987 Constitution that if it is filed, trial by the Senate shall start forthwith. Yun yung
word.
Yun yung
forthwith.
word. Okay.
Ibig sabihin, right away.
Right away. Oo.
Pero ang balita ko, na-receive lang yung document sa receiving section ng Senate, but it was not presented in the plenary.
Yes.
Okay.
They forgot also that they also relied probably in the old case, 1950 case of Arnold versus Nazareno, that an impeachment proceeding is not legislative in character and therefore it can proceed independent of the legislative nature of the work of Congress. Yon. Pero nakalimutan sila na may 3 Supreme Court cases na which actually started in Garciliano versus House of Representatives, reiterated in Neri versus House of Representatives, and in Balag versus House of Representatives. And what is this? The Senate or Congress for that instance is a continuing entity as an institution. It exists. But in its day-to-day operations, according to the Supreme Court, it is not a continuing institution. Okay, why is that? Because each Congress is composed of different personalities, of different people. And each Congress is characterized by its own processes, its own legislative in aid of legislation. So, pag matapos yung termino, yung session ng Congress, all of such...
You mean the lower house?
Yeah, the lower house and even the Senate. All Senate investigations in aid of legislations, all impeachment proceedings na hindi tapos ay tapos. Kung hindi niya natapos, wala tayong magawa. And what did Balag versus Senate state it states that it even cited the Senate Rules of Procedure that any and all unfinished business, wala na talaga tayong magawa niyan. So anong rule dyan? According to Garciliano, reiterated in Neri case, states that it is up to the next Senate, no? And it should be filed anew. Parang depende na yan sa bagong Senado, and it should follow its own procedures.
Ibig mong sabihin, in your interpretation of the law right now.
That's the Supreme Court's interpretation of the law.
Okay, Supreme Court. In that Supreme Court ruling, kailangan mag-file uli ng bagong impeachment ang Congress?
It's up to the Senate how to treat it. But necessarily, by implication, it has to file it. Why po, sir? Ganito po yun. Yung bagong Senado, kailangan nila, meron na naman silang rules of procedure kung paano nila gagawin yung kanilang mga procedure. So, kailangan nga, meron ngang Supreme Court decision na nagpa-impeach sila, wala pa pala silang rules of procedure. Sabi ng Supreme Court, void. Paano kayo makagawa ng impeachment complaint? Ano yun? Yung Francisco din yun. Oo. Nawala pa pala kayong rules of procedure. It was only published after
the filing.
The filing. And wala pa doon sa effectivity niya. Kasi 15 days after publication in accordance with Tanyada versus Tovera ruling. So, kung baga, depende na yan sa bagong Senado. Kailangan pa nila mag-publish ng kanilang own procedure. So, kung bagong procedure nila, you have to comply with the new procedure. So necessarily, i-refile mo yung complaint pursuant to the new rules of procedure. Yun po ang mangyayari. Ang nangyayari kasi ngayon, June 2 mag-resume po, boss, yung session. Hanggang June 30 na lang sila. Pero yung session days talaga nila, hindi naman talaga hanggang June 30. Sa pagkakaalam ko, hanggang June 13 lang ata. Oo. So, kung baga, would you have such...
assuming na 12 days.
Assuming na, hindi kaya. Why? Ang proseso kasi doon sa Senate rules, the impeachment complaint has to be introduced properly in the Senate plenary. Ano yan sa sa Senate rules, sa majority floor leader. So, an impeachment complaint has been filed. I-schedule pa yan. Scheduling pa lang 7 days na. O 5 araw na lang naiunuwan sa iyo. Wala. Hindi yan matatapos ngayon na termino ng mga senador na ito.
So, it is your position based on your interpretation of the Supreme Court ruling na since hindi matatapos sa Senado ngayon, no? And since magkakaroon ng eleksyon ng 12 bagong senador,
yes,
hindi pwedeng continuing yung impeachment.
Hindi pwede. 3 Supreme Court decisions: Garciliano versus House of Representatives, Neri versus House of Representatives, Balag versus Senate.
3 rulings.
3 rulings po yan.
Okay.
Yes po. So, kung baga, it's up to the Senate whether they will take it up. They have that option. But the Senate has to institute its own rules. So, kung mag-institute sila ng own rules, necessarily, yung complaint na yun, mawawala talaga yun. Kung i-consider pa rin nila, that has to be filed again. Meron na namang problema dyan, boss. Ano yung problema? Ang problema dyan, Article 12, Section 3, Paragraph 5. Ano yun? 1-year bar rule. When do you determine the 1-year bar rule? Ipinail nila on February 5. So, from February 5, 1 year thereafter, you could not file an impeachment complaint against Vice President Sara Duterte. Ganun kaganda ang batas, boss, pag alam mo.
Okay. Wow. Interesting. So, recap tayo. Recap. No? Okay. Number 1, ang iyong palagay, hindi nasunod yung mga proseso.
Hindi nasunod.
Sa Congress pa lang.
Sa Congress pa lang.
And you are saying that there was malice in not submitting the 3 earlier complaints
to the Committee on Justice. Yes, because of Francisco versus House of Representatives.
Kasi kung i-final nila yun, hindi nila ma-file tong number 4.
Yes.
Okay? So, para sa'yo, deliberate
yun.
na hindi ni-refer sa Committee on Justice para ma-file itong pang-4.
Yes.
Number 2 point mo, assuming na tama yung proseso sa first step na yon.
Itong pang-4 naman, walang due process.
Walang due process. Kasi?
Diretso lang nila file. Wala nga proper verification, boss. Hindi nga nila nabasa. Diretso lang nila. Blitzkrieg. blitzkrieg, di ba?
Merong
Filing.
nagsasabi na dapat daw sa ganitong impeachment proceeding, dapat daw viva voce ang voting.
By roll call.
Roll call.
Actually, that's section 13 of the House Rules. Pero in-studyhan ko yan, yung vote by roll call applies only to the first two modes of filing. Yung individual yung mag-file at saka yung House member mag-file sa determination after ng Committee on Justice determination, tapos i-determine nila yung 1/3 vote, yun House roll call yun. Silent ang rules nila kung 1/3 requirement.
Okay.
Pero according to Francisco versus House of Representatives, again, in relation with Gutierrez versus House of Representatives, kailangan yung due process requirement.
Alright. So you're saying that by ignoring due process, merong legal basis ang mga abogado ni Vice President Sara Duterte na i-question sa Supreme Court at ipawalang bisa yung...
Yes. I am excited to argue there if I will be given the chance to do that, no? Because really this is a case which has an impact on the future of our nation. And if this case will be argued in the Supreme Court, I think there is a high chance that we will win, no? Kasi the manner of filing also and the timing of the filing also smacks of malice and bad faith, no? And the non-entertainment of the three previous complaints precisely to avoid the one-year bar rule is really an act which is a grave abuse of discretion amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction, which would operate now the expanded concept of certiorari jurisdiction under the 1987 Constitution.
Wow. So, assuming that nasunod yun, palpak pa rin pagdating sa Senado.
Palpak pa rin, boss. Oo, palpak pa rin. So, siguro sinadya yan ng puong may kapal ni Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, boss. Oo. Na siguro, ang lamang nila, siguro, no, marami silang pera. Ang dami nilang pera. Pero siguro, once you have so many resources, di ka na makapag-isip kasi akala mo kaya lahat ng pera, no? So, pero ang nakikita ko po dito, ang dami pong butas.
Okay.
And saka sir, we can even discuss the merits. Why? Because sub judice rule applies to court proceedings. This is a case which affects the entire nation. And this is a political process. So therefore, the people have the right to discuss even the merits on the case.
Since binuksan mo yung pintuan na yan.
Yes. Oh.
Okay, very good.
Yes.
Since binuksan mo yung pintuan na yan, wala palang sub-judice rule.
Walang sub-judice
na
rule
makukover
dito.
sa mga bagay-bagay na ito.
Yes.
Okay. Could you please tell our listeners and viewers, ano yung mga kaso na ipinal nila against Vice President Sara Duterte?
Yung sa nabasa ko lang yung sa ma-remember ko lang, no? Yung attempt daw in the killing attempt to,
assassination
and yung sa life daw ng president, ng first lady at saka ng House of Representative Speaker. Tapos more on the funding, 150 million pesos, at saka yung extrajudicial killings daw ng presidente kasi somehow involved daw siya doon. Yun po ang maalala ko doon sa mga complaints. As to the, yung at yung threat daw to the life of the, I think they filed a case. They filed a case against the Vice President, no?
Okay. Yung curious lang ako. Yung isa sa mga grounds na ginamit nila in filing the impeachment, yun daw paggamit ng intelligence fund na magkano yan? 150 million. What is your interpretation and view on that issue?
Well, that is a premature case. A premature case simply because of the fact that this matter is still under the jurisdiction of the Commission on Audit. Pursuant to the audit function, especially the post-audit functions of the Commission on Audit. And as a matter of fact, if my memory serves me right, Vice President Duterte was required to submit data in order to justify such confidential funds. And ngayong February pa, mag-expire yung right to explain, no? Kasi pag makareceive ka ng notice of disallowance po, boss.
Yeah, I know. Because,
diba, dami nating kaso niya nun. Oo. Hindi yan ibig sabihin na criminally liable ka na. You have the right to contest the factual basis of the notice of disallowance. And if it maintains, you even have the right to go it up. To raise it.
In fact, kung notice of disallowance lang, pwede mo ibalik yung pera.
Oo nga, pwede rin. Oo. So, pwede mo rin i-question. Pwede mo i-substantiate na, uy, ito yung mga resibo, ito lahat. So, kaya nga, when you file a complaint based on this, na natakuha pa, premature po yun, no? Kasi it is still under the audit functions of the Commission on Audit. Yun po ang masasabi ko doon.
So, ang tingin mo yung basis, yung grounds for the filing of the impeachment,
politically motivated talaga, boss.
Politically motivated.
No other reason except to, kasi nga, alam mo, ganito, bakit gagawin nila yan? Parang namasuls dagat ba? Uy, makaigo na itani. Di ba? We should try this kasi tayo pang nasa gahum. Tayo pang nasa power. Yan. So, i-try talaga natin ito kasi may Arnold versus Nazareno and there is this view that trial in the Senate shall proceed forthwith. So, immediate yan. Ganun siguro yung pagka-explain sa mga congressman. Tsaka, if the reports are true, meron kayong 150 million. Ito sa AX. Ito. Laking pera yun po. 150 million. Grabe. Hindi pa ako nakakita ng ganong kalaking pera. No? So, hindi ko sinasabing totoo yun. Pero ang daming mga lumalabas.
So anyway, ang punto na pinag-uusapan natin dito is this. Maitanong ko sa'yo. And please be honest with me.
Yes, sir.
Kung halimbawa, totoong ginawa ni Vice President Sara Duterte yung mga inaakusa sa kanya. Pero nag-declare siya na hindi tatakbong presidente. Palagay mo kaya i-impeach siya?
Hindi. Hindi siya i-impeach kung nag-declare siya hindi siya tatakbong presidente. Kasi kung ma-impeach kasi siya, boss, ang mangyayari kasi wala na tayong Vice President. So, what would operate now? The Constitution. Alam mo ang mangyayari? The President may now choose any of the senators,
including Martin Romualdez.
Including Martin Romualdez. Oo. And then it will be decided by the Senate voting separately, majority vote lang, and Congress voting separately, majority vote na. Vice President na si Romualdez. Yun ang kanilang yun siguro ang kanilang plano. Baka maging totoo yun. So pero, the people, nanonood po ang tao. So, tingin ko, doon nga sa amin sa Davao del Sur, yung aking kaibigan ko man yun, yung kanya mga poster, tinanggal dahil sa galit ng mga tao. Kasi, sobra na, grabe na ito. And we should speak out, even if they are friends and even if my wife is telling me not to talk about it, but I should talk about it because this is a matter of national concern.
Alright. So, mag-recap tayo. Number 1, yung pag-file ng impeachment case against Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte was rushed.
Blitzkrieg fashion.
Blitzkrieg. Giras, minadali. Okay. Number 2, sa punto mo, and you explain this very well, hindi sumunod sa proseso. Number 3, yung Senado, wala ng oras para i-tackle itong impeachment case na ito sapagkat babalik sila ng June 2 and then they only have about 12 days of session days. Number 4, sinasabi mo na hindi ito itatackle ng next Senate because citing, what provision was that?
Depende sa kanila kung itatackle nila, pero they have to set their own rules of procedure. So necessarily, kung itatackle nila, it has to be filed again. Kung i-file again nila, 1-year bar rule will operate.
Alright. So ang sinasabi mo is, whatever is the scenario, it looks like etong impeachment na case na ito is all
Show.
fireworks.
Fireworks, yes. Pero baka kung hindi tayo magmamasid and we will not fight for our rights, baka i-railroad. Kaya nga we have to speak up.
Alright, very good. So mga kaibigan, sa nakalipas po na 55 minuto ay napag-usapan po natin yung isang mahalagang issue na gumugulo sa isipan ng ating mga taong bayan. So sa mga nakikinig po ngayon, and I'm basing my conclusion on the analysis of the legal expert here, Dean Israelito Torion. Ang sinasabi niya is etong impeachment case na to is politically motivated. It did not follow procedure, and even if it followed procedure, it will face the problem of the lack of material time within which the current Senate will be able to tackle it. And dahil magtatapos na ito, ang Senadong ito, they will have to set their own rules, and the impeachment will have to be refiled again, which then will be covered by the one-year bar rule.
Yes.
Ibig sabihin, for the next 12 months, ay hindi pwedeng filean ng impeachment si Vice President Sara Zimmerman Duterte.
Yes po.
But assuming na lahat nasa proseso, assuming na nag-succeed sila in convicting Vice President Sara Duterte, ano ang mangyayari sa kanya?
She will be removed from office and disqualified to hold any other public office. So yun din ang isang dito purpose. Kung makatsamba sila, kung mag-succeed sila, hindi na makatakbo si Vice President Sara Duterte sa 2028. Kaya kailangan i-educate natin yung mga tao. Dapat alam ng mga tao kung tama ba ito o hindi. Kasi napaka mali po itong proseso na ito. Napaka irregular po. Kasi ang punot dulo nito ay ang effect kasi ng impeachment, removal from office and disqualification to hold public office in the future. So yun po ang magiging
So you agree with me that itong nangyayari ngayon ay positioning to for
2028.
2028.
Yes, clear as the sky. Na talaga.
Positioning for 2028.
Positioning for 2028 po.
All right. So mga kaibigan, pasensya na, hindi po ako makapag-shout out ngayon kasi sobrang dami. Perting daghana ang nagko-comment sa ating live, ha? Hindi mapasusulat. Mga kaibigan, I hope that in the last 58 minutes we were able to explain fully, etong burning issue of the day, which is the impeachment of Vice President Sara Duterte. At sana po ay naliwanagan kayo. Wala po kami sinabing panig kami kay Vice President Sara Duterte. Pinag-usapan lang po natin yung merits, yung proseso, at saka merits of the case. And yung assessment ni Dean Israelito Torion na sa kanyang palagay itong impeachment na ito ay politically motivated at preparasyon para sa 2028. Kanya pong pananaw yun. And we respect that. Ako naman, from my point of view, kasi identified talaga ako na Duterte, Duterte. maski anong gawin ko, may nakatatak sa noo ko na Duterte, di ba? But I assure you, I am looking at this issue actually as objective as possible. Pero of course, ako din ay nasisihan doon sa analysis ni Attorney Bobet Torion. And I'm happy that ganun ang kanyang analysis. Sana po yung mga nakikinig na nagtatanong at kinakabahan at natatakot, sana po ay naibsan ang inyong takot sa paliwanag ni Attorney Torion. To conclude, number one, sinasabi niya, yung pag-file ng impeachment case against Vice President Sara Duterte was malicious at the very start. kasi hindi na tinanggap yung unang tatlong impeachment complaint para maipasok yung pang-apat. Number 2, hindi sumunod ng tamang proseso sapagkat minadali. Hindi binigyan ng pagkakataon yung respondent na sumagot. Tama ba? And then, maski tama pa yon, wala nang material time for the incumbent senators to discuss or tackle the case. No? Sapagkat 12 session days na lang sila. And because of that, matatapos yung Senado, matatapos yung Kongreso, they will have to refile the impeachment and it will be covered by the 1-year bar rule. Alright? So sa ngalan po ng ating kaibigan, si Attorney Israelito Bobe Torion, Dean of the College of Law ng JMC, Davao City, at isa sa mga sa Cebuano pabanggiitang mga abogado, no? At very learned actually, very learned, no? Talagang nagre-research. Gusto ko po siyang pasalamatan. Ganun din po yung mga nakikinig sa atin. At sa ngalan po ni Attorney Bobe Torion, ako po si Paring Gob Manny Piñol. Sana po ay naliwanagan tayo. May God bless us all.
Andam na ba kamo sa kalingkawasan? Panahon na para sa tinuod nga kabaguhan. At tangi ang pagbalik ni Paring Gob. Ibalik ang ngiti sa mukha ng bawat Cotabateño. Paring Gob. Mapapakinggan Martes at Sabado mula alas 12 hanggang alas 12:30 ng tanghali. Ibalik ang sigla ng mga magsasaka at bawat pamilyang Cotabateño. Paring Gob.
Ang inyong